Hi Scorpio, hope you guys are doing great today. This is the second time I'm trying to do your video. I don't know why, I was like tripping over my words. The cards were weird, I wasn't vibing it. Anyway, these are going to be general messages for the 16th to the 22nd. I hope you guys are doing great today. So I'm going to be breaking it into a few different sections. Check the description box below if you want to just pop around, if you don't want to stay for the duration of every little part. I'm going to start with some astrology, oracles, then go to a general read, then go into relationship, and then I'm going to throw some cards down for those of you in separation. Description box below for the timestamps, okay? Bring it into form. What are you planning on creating, my Scorpio friends? I feel like a lot of you are with that sun and that Leo sun. Beautiful. I mean, it's going to be popping into Virgo, which is the 11th house. Still really good, really good. 10th, 11th house. These are really good energies as far as like long-term goals, setting a shorter-term goal, 5-year plan, having to do with career, having to do with your public reputation, your standing in the world, what you're involved in, where you're going. I really like these energies. I really do. And I feel like the full moon on the 22nd in Aquarius, even though it's at 29 degrees and 37 minutes, so it's like almost in Pisces, but it is still Aquarius, is going to have you very focused on the room that you need to make in your life for other people, particularly those people who you live with or have to do with home. Also, how safe and secure is what you want to do with your life. How safe and secure is it going to make you feel or help you to feel, right? So some of you may be in that space. Others of you are going to be moving forward, having to do with some sort of house situation. Buying a house, selling a house, inviting somebody to live with you, moving in with somebody, bringing a new baby into the house. I mean, anything having to do with home, roots, family, self-care, emotions, your foundation. This could also have something to do going on with your mother or your ability to mother. So like a lot of energy, actually a lot of parenting family is energy is going to be happening. To be honest, for Scorpios, right? That 10th house, father, 4th house, mother, kind of like that kind of jam there, right? But I feel like because the full moon that's happening on the 22nd is happening so late in Aquarius, you might be getting some of those Neptunian, Piscean vibes hanging from the 5th house, where it's like, all right, if I do A, B, and C in this relationship, or if I do A, B, and C with my kids, or if I do, fill in the blank, having to do with my kids, significant other, this creative project, these are all 5th house things. Is it possible that I'm going to end up martyring what I ultimately want? Is it possible that it's not going to go in my favor? Don't be surprised if you're feeling that. Don't get hung up on it, but don't be surprised if you're feeling that, because you're going to be looking at the minutia of your life, right? The minutia of your hopes and wishes. On that 22nd, when the sun pops into Virgo, Virgo makes us get very, very critical, right? Very critical. It's going in there. Mars and Mercury are in there also. So it's going to be like a lot of focus on the details of your hopes, your wishes, and your future. So don't be surprised about that if you're going to be feeling that. But backing up a little bit, on the 16th, we have Venus entering Virgo, and that Venus entering Libra. I'm sorry. It's in Virgo now, going into Libra. And so very beautiful energy for relationships. The only thing is we're going to be really sensitive to anyone who's like aggressive, who's not being fair, anything like that. And we're not, but the thing is with Venus and Libra, we're not going to want to have any confrontation. We're not going to want to kick up the dirt. We're not going to want to do that. So the tendency is very high to acquiesce to things that maybe are probably not in our best interest. So it's just something to keep in mind. You want to be careful of that, because you can later regret it. If you find like, I'm not sure how I feel about this, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like the word saying yes coming out of your mouth before you give it really good thought. So just be careful of that. That's kind of like the rest of the month, right? That hits on the 16th, and it goes until the end of the first week of September. And then we also do, I want to mention this, we have Jupiter is going to be semi-square Chiron on the 18th. Now, this is a minor aspect. It's pretty subtle, but it's worth mentioning because it's going to be making you feel really hungry for meaning and understanding, right? So let's think about where Chiron is for you, right? So for you, Chiron is hanging out in that Aries energy, and it's sitting like a couple of houses away from Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is sitting in that 4th house, Chiron's in that 6th house. So we're talking about home, and then we're talking about your day-to-day work environment. Home, your roots, you taking care of your emotional self, and your health. right? So there's going to be this like dynamic there, and you're going to be looking for more understanding, looking to align yourself with what you exactly want, as far as what do you want to do, having to do with this idea of feeling grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in your home, in your life, with your family, with your children, versus the energies that are required having to do with either your work situation, or do you feel like you're actually living a very healthy existence within your home? You know, are you getting your needs met? Are you living in a safe and healthy place? These things could come up right now. Don't be surprised if they do with this semi-square. You know, you might even feel kind of like crisis of faith, low-key, maybe not so low-key. You know, it's important to look within, though, to figure out like a greater understanding of what it is that you really need or believe, having to do with this 4th house, 6th house, the idea of home versus your day-to-day experience, home and feeling safe and secure, and where it is that you work, or your health. Do you feel like you're taking good care of your health? A lot of you guys going with a very, very simple interpretation. Some of you might be like, I don't know, is my truth to get a new dog or a new cat? Because 6th house is pets, a 4th house is home, right? We would be bringing those pets in to live. Is that what the right thing to do right now in my life? Subtle, right? But these things can end up impacting us over the long term. So rather than blindly following something that doesn't really serve your purpose or serve what is right for your life at the time, go within and really kind of trying to figure something out. Because any endeavor, especially anything new, may end up requiring a closer look before you end up pushing something forward, you know? And a really important energy, guys, I want to mention here is Uranus is going retrograde on the 19th until January of 2022. And there's going to be a very strong desire to make changes in your life that require you to go inward and really get in touch with where you feel like you're holding yourself back and where you can live more spontaneously and more authentically. And guys, you're feeling this in your 7th house of relationships, of marriage, of contracts, business partnerships, the idea of equality and sharing, your personal style within these relationships, right? So very importantly, overtly, you may be a lot more agreeable, less rebellious, more inclined to keep the status quo, follow the rules. Uranus usually doesn't do that, but when Uranus is retrograde, you're going to be like, all right, let me pull back, and I want to better understand what I'm feeling here, right? And so you're going to be feeling it this particular week, like it hits on the 19th. You're going to be feeling this week. It might be challenging, but because you can experience some tension until you acclimate to the directional change that is happening in your relationships. There's no question. There's no question. As wherever Scorpio is, Pluto, things are meant to change, and Uranus is the big the energy that shakes things up. I mean, it's the great awakener for change. So you have this on in your relationship axis, but you know, just as like a little gift, I do want to just remind you that you also have the North Node in Gemini, which is living a gift in that 8th house of merging intimacy, shared finances, how you show up as a we in relationship. So those of you who are in relationship, you could be getting a nice like kick up when it comes, like beautiful, when it comes to towards the end of the year, especially right as the end of the year rolls out, really good things coming in the area of relationship, but it might require some uncomfortable growing pains, you know, at the same time. And we can't really underestimate the power of Uranus. And especially, guys, while that Leo new moon conjunct Lionsgate, right, which just happened on the 8th, well, technically, the Lionsgate doesn't really totally activate and open up until the 11th. Everybody gets hung up on the 8th, but technically it starts January, July 28th. But anyway, so we honor the 8-8 number. But anyway, it was conjunct that Leo new moon. So this has been a time where energy has been very high creative energy, right? Really allowing us to connect with our higher frequency, right? And with Uranus being so active right now, as it's kind of carrying us into this full moon in Aquarius, there's a lot of waking up and a lot of change and shaking things up, turning things on their head, well, you know, so that we can look at things differently. Because Uranus only shakes things up in areas where we need to wake up. So you need to wake up in the area of relationship, of business partnerships, of things being fair versus not fair, in various areas of your life, right? And it's through that shaking up of your reality that you're going to be able to see things in a new light, perceive things from a new vantage point, and just experience growth. It's, uncertainty is just a part of life, right? Even though it's uncomfortable, it can really be a very powerful teacher in learning how to detach, so that you can open up and be open to your full potential. And I've been saying in all the videos, when nothing is certain, anything is possible. And this is such an amazing energy to manifest things in, And Uranus is also connected to our third eye openings. So when his gift here is, if you don't know what that is, it's okay. He helps us to raise our consciousness, right? Just makes us feel more awake, more in tuned, and not ignoring the red flags, right? Especially in areas where we may have had a blind spot to up to now. So this can feel a lot more noticeable right now. So you really want to ask yourself where you can view any areas in your life that feel uncertain, and view them instead as a field of possibility to really grow yourself into the life that's meant for you. To switching up, turning that uncertain thing into a possibility is really what Uranus wants us to do, and you're being asked to do it in that first house, seventh house axis, having to do with relationships, like I mentioned, or business contracts, if you're not in a relationship. So let's see what the oracles have to say. Bring it into form. Wow. Scorpio, cool beans, right? This is those of you who are working on any project, any launch, any sort of project that you're working on, that you've been doing that Scorpio research for, especially, right? No one does research like a Scorpio, or just trying to, bring something or fix something, work on something, bringing it into form, making no judgments, whole in the soul, and observe. Wow. All right, you guys have to look at what's going on with the hole in the soul, Scorpio. Look at yourself very kindly and be very open and honest with yourself. Where is something not feeling right? Where is something not feeling right? And now here I'm going to go back to that silly little Jupiter semi-square Chiron that no one's really talking about. I think it's subtle, but it's like this insidious thing where it's like, all right, I need to figure this out. What do I really want? What feels like it? What's in alignment with me, and not what's not in alignment? And you have to observe what's being brought up in you, what emotions are being sort of raised up to the surface in you as you're trying to bring something out into form, as you're trying to grow yourself, expand yourself, and whatever area you're trying to do that in. I just feel, it's very, very profound. First, I love that you're doing all of this healing in the 6th house. It's excellent for your health, by the way. Scorpio, those of you who've been struggling with your health, wow, is this a good time period between now and December 28th to adopt a new workout regimen. Make sure you're eating clean food. Are you taking really awesome supplements to help you? Let me know in the comments below. Those of you who are looking for some recommendations, I can only recommend some really powerful supplements, particularly if you are in any stage where you're dealing with any sort of hormonal issues, or even men, if you're in that space of your life where you might be challenged because of certain things going on physiologically, as we age. I've done so much research about this, I cannot even tell you. And so I could recommend some things. So if you want that, kind of random, just throwing it out there, you could put in the comments, and I could identify. I'll list if you'd like. But great energy for healing. Mental, physical, emotional health. Really beautiful energy there. Healing your workspace. Really great. If you've been having any sort of issues with a pet, things getting better there. We have receiving. In order to receive, you have to change tracks. In order to change tracks and receive, you have to say what you mean, and you have to be flexible in some sort of situation that you're in. So however you've been approaching something specifically, you're going to need to make an adjustment and go with the change. Go with the change. Restore and replenish. Go for your dreams. Phoenix rising and a change in the wind. Wow. So there's a lot of change going here. going on here. But before you step into the change, make sure you restore and replenish, and you're very focused on what you want the outcome to be. This is going to be a very powerful time for you. It just says, I mean, especially, look, I mean, you guys are a fixed sign. It's you, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius, especially if your placement falls within 26 to 30 degrees, you're going to be feeling very strongly affected by this. If you have any of your mutable placements, because we all have all the signs in us, so if you know where your mutable placements are, that would be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces at 0 to 4 degrees, you're going to be feeling this change a lot. But it does seem like Phoenix rising, something's got to end before it begins. You guys are very familiar with that. That is your energy, Scorpio, right? And a change in the wind, a change in the wind. So there's definitely this sort of shift, changing tracks, change in the wind. Don't judge yourself. Say what you mean. Stay open. Don't be judgmental. And look at where is the lack. Identify where the lack is and go in another direction. But it does seem like some of you are in a space of recognizing that you need to manifest something differently for yourself, whether that's relationship, job, some sort of opportunity, something like that. So let's see what we have. No, I want to use these for the relationship read, actually. I'm feeling that. All right. Let's use these. Tarot de la Nuit. Why not? Okay, let's pull down some cards for our Scorpio friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. General messages. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. Remember, I don't know you or your personal chart. Got lots of thinking about a different strategy in order to move forward. We got you here. So we have the Page of Pentacles. This could be a new job, a new relationship. This could be just some sort of your talent shining through. This could also indicate some money news coming in, but it's progression. It's progression and auspicious beginnings regarding kind of fill in the blank finance. This Pentacles can mean money, but also mental, physical, and emotional connection. So it could be a new beginning having to do with money and finance, some sort of business situation, some sort of offer made on a property, that's money. Anything like that, or even any sort of new educational opportunity coming in, or again, a new mental, physical, or emotional connection. So you want to make sure you pay attention to your finances here. It's because the Page is the young and of the court, right? You want to make sure that you're not being immature or anything like that with your money, right? You want to stay hardworking, very reliable, strong potential for success here. I like it. And it could be because you're getting a new job. This could also be because you are in a new relationship, right? New connection indicates falling in love here for some of you. This new beginning that some of you are taking in your life, it's sort of leveling up the relationship that you're in right now, because this could indicate strong love and support. This could also indicate the idea of fertility as well. Pregnancy, literally like becoming pregnant, but fertility meaning being able to expand and grow your life, like buy that house. You know, will you marry me? Let's do this new thing together. Let's open this business together, whatever it is. But it's very, very positive, right? Something that really matters to you coming to fruition. Now, clarifying that is the Hierophant energy. So some of you may be deciding to get married, move in together, deepen a commitment, or some sort of connected energy that you have. It's really like celebrating the sacred in your relationship. Beautiful energy. If having to do with relationship. For career or money, this is about moving forward in some sort of work, decision, direction. Yeah, I mean, I like it because it's a very healthy energy in that it has to do with emotional development, expectations, and conforming. And in numerology, the Hierophant is the Temperance energy, which is about cooperation, moderation, reconciling any sort of issue that's been a thing, really exercising, just sort of a level-headed approach to get past what may have been a difficult time period. And a lot of angels showing up to help you here. The Hierophant's very beautiful energy of angelic guidance, right? But you may be stepping back and realizing you need to take a different approach to something, Scorpio. Taking a time out, stepping back, something like that. Maybe you're doing some shadow work. Maybe you're just talking to a therapist or a trusted friend. You're trying to figure out a better strategy to move forward regarding a certain situation that you've been trying to figure out. There's some sort of sticking point. Trying to temper a situation, but in the process of tempering or reconciling a situation, figuring something out, you're recognizing that you have to try a different strategy or a different approach. So we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Page of Wands. Very nice energy here. I mean, this is about you expressing yourself. So this is really good news about any project that requires negotiation. A very busy time at work. This could also be for those of you who work. This can bring a new offer in. But the thing is here with the Page of Wands, the status of something or the glitz and glam of a job position, something like that may not be like what you really wanted, or not as high, or maybe it doesn't pay as much as you thought. Something that it's not what you wanted ideally or expected ideally, but it still appeals to you in theory. So you just obviously want to always make sure you read the fine print before signing or agreeing to anything here. But you're in this space where you really sort of want to like express yourself, that you have a lot to say. And I feel like, you know, with that Mercury and Mars and then the Sun hanging out in Virgo, you're going to be seeing things that other people aren't seeing, and you're not going to be able to want to keep it to yourself, sure. But that can end up being like exactly what you need, because the Six of Wands, see that? I know these are dark cards. The Six of Wands is a good energy because this is Jupiter and Leo, first of all. So this is about deserved success and great energy if you've been struggling with something lately. This is you getting acknowledgement at work, so that's good, right? But whatever's going on here, feelings are going to be shared. You're going to say your piece. Feelings are shared, but they're going to be well received. So positive communication that ends up leading to a deepening of connection or understanding, at least, is going to be happening here. Having to do really with any part of your life. I mean, this could have to do with love, a property situation, something in work, something going on in the field of education for you, anything that requires a decision, so that you're going to be expressing yourself. It's going to be well received. But then we have the Five of Pentacles. It's clarifying that. Now, what's good about this energy, even though it could be challenging in the short term, it's a minor arcana, so don't worry too much about it. But Five of Pentacles is this feeling of lack, but you may have more support than you actually realize. Like, meaning you're maybe worrying more about money than you have to, right? It's like that lack mentality where you may have money coming in. Money can be okay, but you might be worried, where you fear financial issues. You feel like in some way maybe you're being tested when it comes to something having to do with resources. But you're going to consider new options. You're going to be able to see a way forward, right? But you're afraid of something here, like afraid of losing security, maybe of your home, if it has to do with money. If this has to do with a relationship, this is kind of like the pain in the aftermath of a connection ending. So that could be because of a breakup, or it could be because of somebody passing away, right? But you have a lot of support around you, but it's like that feeling of dealing with that, dealing with the aftermath. So for some of you, you might even be dealing with some sort of inheritance situation where you're like, I can't stay quiet on this front anymore. I got to say something. I have to be more so some of you may be in that space. And we have that being clarified by the Seven of Swords, which is you may be dealing with somebody who's a lot of bit dishonest, my friends, right? Somebody who oversteps boundaries. They're pretty selfish, right? And you're going to need those beautiful Scorpio spidey senses that you have, right? In order to play somebody else at their own game, find out what it is that you need to know. Nobody does that better than you. You're doing that research that you. So I feel like that's, some of you are going to be like that with either a friend, a family member, somebody at work, some sort of situation going on. You might even be like that with your partner, where you might feel like something's going on and you're not sure if you know all of the information. You're just not sure. You feel like something else might be going on that you have to figure out. Now we have the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot in reverse, the Chariot in the upright, it's a Cancer energy no matter how you slice it, right? So, all right, a couple of things I want to say here. First of all, you might be dealing with somebody who's really arrogant, very self-indulgent. I mean, you can be, but I'm feeling more like this is an energy that's like you're receiving. Somebody is just sort of like out of control, just not thinking straight. They're not on the right path, whether it's because of egotism, selfishness, whatever. It's just not healthy, and somebody needs to seriously change their focus here. It does seem like that. Somebody's just like not in a healthy space. Now, I also want to say that this energy in numerology is the Tower. So if we understand that, this is like the Tower reverse, which means I feel like some of you may be taking responsibility for a situation even though you're blameless. This could also indicate that you're holding on to something, whether it's a relationship, a project, a career, some idea, something, and that's just not strong enough to stand the test of time. So you want to ask yourself if you're clinging to the past too much to protect yourself from the reality of the situation. Because your fears can end up materializing here, right? It's like the collapse of something is inevitable. So don't feel responsible though, because it has nothing to do with you. It's like forces outside of your control. Even though the impact or the realization of a situation can feel sort of like dramatic, at least you're going to know where you stand. And clarifying that, we have Scorpio energy. So some of you might be moving. Some of you just might be like, the hell with this, I have to move. So that is what the death energy is, a movement energy for sure. But for some of you, you're realizing like the relationship or situation that you were in, it has to change. It has to end, at least for a time period, right? Some sort of separation is very, very necessary, maybe even just from a situation, if it's ever going to find its footing again in the future. So whether it's this intimate relationship, family connection, whatever it is, because it wasn't healthy the way that it was. So even friends can actually fall away at this time. But, time can bring, the reconnection if the foundation has value, obviously. That goes for any relationship at all. If this has more to do with like a money or career kind of thing, there could be a possible ending to some sort of business connection or avenue or opportunity for money. And even though it might be very tough to swallow initially, this energy indicates that there's something new, there's another offer, there's something else going on here on the horizon for you. So just be very patient with where everything is at right now. Whatever's going on here, whatever this challenge is, it's going to be pushing you to feel very, very defensive, right? I mean, this Mars and Leo, it's like, all right, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. I can concede this. I can't concede that. We have to figure this out, because your morality and your personal philosophy is going to be very, very important to you right now. And you're very focused on doing the right thing right now in a way that's going to end up making you feel safe and secure. You are very focused on, you have Cancer in that 9th house, which is where your morality lives, right? So you really, you're very focused on like what's right and not right when it comes to something. So, right, that idea of that's not fair, that's not right, that's not okay, and that doesn't make me feel secure or safe. This could literally have something to do with a house, because Cancer rules home as well. So going back to this, right, if it has anything to do with like an inheritance kind of thing, could be because it's a parental home or some sort of issue going on there. Some of you are going to resonate with it like that. So we have a lot of cards that are sort of speaking to that, I do have to say. Now, clarifying that, you've drawn a line in the sand. That's followed by the Magician in the reverse. So Magician in reverse, this is a very tricky energy. You might be misled temporarily anyway by some sort of like charming manipulator. This could also indicate just feeling blocked, challenges and problem solving. You kind of can't figure something out. You're trying really hard to figure something out and you can't get to the bottom of it. Or like communication might be, an issue right now. You might be feeling sort of very scattered and all over the place, If you are feeling this way, figure out what you can control and just focus on that. Does this seem like a lot of things are going on here that you can't control literally, because you can only control yourself. You can't control how somebody else reacts or responds to a situation, right? So that's what I see right now. Control what you can. You're trying to get to the bottom of something. There definitely needs to be some sort of change. You're going to feel this need to defend yourself throughout the change. to just say bottom of the line for this week. What can I control? What can't I control? What am I feeling? Again, going back to that Uranus retrograde, there's some sort of directional change that's going on here, right? And you're going to feel some tension as you go through that change. And it has something to do, guys, either with your relationship, your marriage, a contract, something that has to do with the idea of sharing, business partner, something like that. That's where it's happening for you. Yep. Alrighty. So that's what we have for that, those general messages. Let's see what we have for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in relationship. And again, like I mentioned before, I'll pull some cards for those of you who are in separation after this one, and I will timestamp. So let's see what comes up. Celtic cross spread for our friends, please. The Three of Pentacles, focus on building, beautiful energy, Mars and Capricorn. But your challenge is that you're an emotional, you are in an emotional stalemate. You need to make a decision. You want to protect yourself. The situation's not going away, no matter how hard you try. This needs to be resolved. Even though this is a 2, it's a 2 of Swords, it's a minor arcana. For those of you who know astrology, this is kind of like a quincunx or an inconjunct, which is the same thing, by the way. It's like that's only going to change if you actually do something to change the situation. You can't wish it away. You can't procrastinate. You can't make like it's not a thing. It's a thing. So when we have this challenge, so what I see here is with this Mars and Capricorn energy, you definitely want to come together with a partner. You want to be able to build. You want to be able to build a life together, right? I always call this the architect card, where it's like coming in and sketching out kind of like the life you want to have together, what it is that you see yourself doing here, and what is it that you're willing to put your efforts and your work into in the future. Because Mars is about a fresh path, new perspective, being on the right path, and Capricorn is about putting in the work to do it. But the challenge here is that you're in some sort of emotional stalemate. Because you're feeling very overwhelmed right now, you've been dealing with a bit of a messy energy, Scorpio. Either you or somebody else, very much the shackling energy. So this could have to do with anything that has to do with like shackling and enslavement and imbalance, fill in the blank, any sort of maybe addiction situation. Could be to substances, it could be to sex, money, gambling, shopping, food. It could have to do with narcissistic tendencies, depression and anxiety, unchecked and untreated, right? Where there's this imbalance, right? I remember the devil energy in numerology, I do talk about this a lot, is the lover's energy as well, which is Gemini. And so what does that mean though? The lover's energy is about choice. And the choice is, are we going to be able to be on the same page to fix something, or are we not? But you may be experiencing a devil energy within yourself, Scorpio, right? You might be realizing within yourself that you're struggling with some sort of imbalance within yourself. Maybe you're having a hard time getting over an addiction. Maybe you're having a really hard time looking at that. Be kind to yourself if that's the case. Seriously. Or you might be dealing with that in somebody else. Scorpio energy out of any other sign in the zodiac, even over Pisces, draws addictive types of energies to themselves. Very interesting. So some of you may have that. And again, so many different types of addictions. It doesn't have to be to drinking or drugs. It could just be something that's causing imbalance. We have the 10 of Wands as the basis of the situation. Too much overwhelm, overload of responsibilities and demands. Just busy in your mind, busy externally. Your relationship might be neglected right now, to be honest. Some of you may be in that space because other things are going on in life that need to take precedent. And you're like, what relationship, right? It's hard to even be receptive, honestly, to a tarot reading or even astrology when you're in a 10 of Wands energy. Because it's like, it's annoying. I'm sorry if I'm being annoying right now. But it's annoying because it's like you intuitively know changes need to be made. You know it, but you can't because you can't, because maybe you have to deal with A, then B in order to get to C. Building block. You can't do this until you do that, and that. That could be a very frustrating space to be in. But it does seem like the situation right now, the overload, whatever it is going to lead to an end. And there's a history here. There's one sort at a time over time. It's Mercury and Virgo energy, so this could just be really harsh words. The truth coming out, one truth after another truth after another truth, realization after realization. And it's the finality and the release of whatever it is that you've been challenged by, frustrated by, depressed over. Even if it's painful, it's the end of a difficult time period in your life so that you could transform into a lighter version of yourself. You know? Lighter. Just being lighter. Yeah. We have the Seven of Cups in the space of suggested approach, right? Choices, confusion. You have to look at what are you confused about exactly, Scorpio? Like exactly. Are you confused because you're not sure if you want to be in the relationship? Because that would be a confusion because of choices, right? Are you confused because somebody that you're dealing with has a commitment issue? Maybe you're recognizing that you have a commitment issue. Maybe there's no other energy, but you're just having an issue with commitment. You just might be in the space where you're not sure what's real and what's not. Things feel up in the air. So it's really, this is an energy where it's like, all right, if things feel up in the air, write down what you know is, you definitely feel. Like, work with the facts initially. Because if you're in this space where it's like, this relationship can work out later on if they, fill in the blank. And if it's something that somebody else has to do, you have to really own the fact that you don't have control over what somebody else does. You can't control them. It doesn't matter how loud you yell, how deeply you cry or plead. It doesn't matter. And I hate to say that, because that is the sad truth. Doesn't mean we give up on people, for crying out loud, right? I mean, no, it's not that. But it's recognizing what you can control and what you can't control. And recognizing here too, with the Seven of Cups, you're at the beginning stages of something. So either you're at the beginning stages of the end, or you're at the beginning stages of redefining this relationship. Now we have the King of Pentacles that's external to you. You're dealing with an energy that does not want to change. This person is greedy, whether it's because of their money and there's some sort of issue, unhealthy, funny with money kind of energy going on here, or somebody who just doesn't want to look at themselves, doesn't want to make the change, is very hypersensitive to you maybe saying, look, we have so much potential for this connection, for this relationship, but you need to make these adjustments in order for the relationship to be successful. And them saying, I'm not doing that. Or this could be the energy surrounding you where somebody comes in and is like, look, Scorpio, you have to stop doing A, B, and C. Otherwise, I don't know how we're going to work. And you're being like, well, there's the door. I don't know what to tell you. It's not me, kind of thing, right? Could definitely be. Your challenge is the Hierophant energy. So your challenge is in being able to kind of temper the situation. Your challenge is being able to really commit to something, or your challenge is in somebody else having a challenge in the ability to commit to something. You're feeling very blocked in this energy. You're feeling very blocked and feeling satisfied within this relationship, this marriage, this committed partnership. You're feeling like you're having a really hard time. Some of you may even be in this space where you feel like you're being misled by a person who's very morally compromised, right? People might be giving you poor advice. Somebody might be giving your partner poor advice. But this is an energy where it's like, you know what? The best way to handle this, tap into your own intuition. And really trust yourself. This Page of Pentacles, this indicates a new cycle. So some of you may be just like going and taking a new job if that's been an issue here. Pentacles can mean money, right? But this is you just wanting to move forward. Some of you may be making an offer on a property. Some of you may be going out and just meeting new people. Whatever it is, it's like you saying, nope, this is what I have to do right now. I have to open myself up to a new cycle. Some of you are going to resonate with it like that. Others of you are going to be in this space where it's like, all right, we need to sit down and figure out in a very practical way, because the Page of Pentacles is very practical and hardworking way. What do we have to do in order to fix this? Let's just like get right down and dirty to the nuts and bolts of problem solving here. And we have the Seven of Pentacles as the final outcome, which is hard work paying off, patience paying off, right? Whatever situation you're in, don't give up on it, because your future self is going to thank you, even though you feel very challenged by it in the moment. But let's see what else we get here. We have the, all right, maybe you have children, right? Because we have the Empress energy. Or maybe you want to have children with this person, and they're just like down on their luck right now. But it is this idea of growth and growing and becoming more than what you are right now. Queen of Pentacles, right? I mean, you might be the one that's going in there. It's like the steady Betty, right? Reliable, supportive, affectionate, generous with your energy, knowing what's needed to fix the situation. You want to come in and take care of everything. We have the King of Swords energy, right? You're going very practical. For Scorpio, your water energy, but you're going very air. Earth and air, right? Because this is a Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Focusing on your mind and logic and staying calm. No emotions. This is what needs to be done to settle a conflict, either within yourself or with somebody else, with this person. But there's a conflict here that needs settling. Then we have the Six of Cups, trying to really balance the relationship, especially if you feel like you have suffered some sort of mistreatment in the past. It does indicate things being remedied. We have the Hermit. In order to remedy anything, you have to understand that you need to put a lot more energy and work into this to smooth over whatever issues need addressing, if you feel like it's worth it. Ace of Cups. I think it'll be worth it. This is strong love and support in existing relationships. Okay, for those of you who resonate with it like that, this is an energy of fertility, of pregnancy, prioritizing family, parenting, all of that. But some of you may be in this space where it's like, all right, look, I really want to grow my life and take care of myself, so I can't allow my emotions about this relationship to run the show. I have to, at some point, step in with my practical side and say, doesn't make sense for me to be in this anymore. I really need to settle that feeling of confliction within me. I really do. It's like I need, even though I'm feeling very nostalgic, some of you may be even in a space where you're thinking about somebody from your past that you're thinking about calling up. But what you're doing here is you're thinking about a problem-solving way, how to fix relationship, looking at cycles, looking at the common denominator so that you don't keep making the same mistakes again. And for many of you, you're going to be falling in love with somebody else. Depends on where you're at. This is a general message, so I try to give a couple of different interpretations, but that's what I see. It does seem like there's some sort of unhealthy behavior that's at play here. So some people are better than other people at looking at their demons and facing them. Of course, right? Naturally, we know that, right? It's not easy. Those of you in separation. I kept up a facade to the world, but you always saw past that into my soul. Our beliefs were just too different. I couldn't reconcile mine to yours. The thought of you with someone else drives me crazy. I feel like I abandoned you and myself when we broke up. I want to reconcile. What? Wedding rings? Hello. Okay. Hold on now, Scorpio. I'm gonna have to pull more cards on that. Meanwhile, those of you who are in separation, I feel like you're hanging out with your friends. You're trying to just do the best you can in life. Doesn't mean that you're not still working through emotions, but so you always saw past this person into their soul. They probably did the same with you, but right now, you're just trying to live in the moment. Hang with your friends. Be happy in the moment. But being apart, this relationship was very life-changing. For them, for you. Our beliefs were just too different. I couldn't reconcile mine to yours. Yeah, and then we have karmic. So this is a karmic relationship, really hard. I mean, letting go and loving you, resentment, lessons, it's difficult, right? Difficult. I mean, so often we magnetize these kind of energies to ourselves because we need to be uncomfortable in order to learn the lesson, because when we're comfortable, we get lazy as human beings and we have no motivation to grow on a soul level. So it's what a soulmate is for. That's what a karmic energy is for, is to hold up that mirror, make us feel really uneasy, really pretty crappy, right? So that we could step back and say, what lesson am I learning here? I know I didn't handle things the right way, but I don't know how to fix it. So somebody really doesn't know what to do. The thought of you with someone else drives me crazy is being clarified by the butterfly. Relationship evolving to the next phase. Healing the inner child and growth. Really beautiful. If somebody is working through any sort of addiction, love that. I don't know how to talk to you, but I miss you. I feel like I abandoned you and myself when we broke up. I want to reconcile, is being clarified by wedding rings. Union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love. But I'm scared. Okay. So, still a lot of emotions here. There's no question. But there's a lot of fear. There's this attempt to grow. There's a fear of looking at the vulnerable little pink side of themselves. It's so difficult. My goodness, it truly is. Somebody's really trying very hard to come out of the shadows here, it does seem like. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.